Hello, folks, and welcome to Telling Tinder Tales, the podcast where the search for love often goes wrong, dates get strange. The one thing we can be sure of is that we'll all have a bit of fun. With me, Chris O'Neill.
And me, Thomasin, Lockwood. Every episode we invite someone from somewhere in the world and they come on to tell us their dating story. And then we ask them some questions about it. We're off to a brilliant start this week, though. I am 1 foot in the grave. I'm very under the weather, and Chris has a storm outside his window. So we'll see if we survive this.
I have hailstones coming down on the windows outside. So if there's a bit of random noise in the background, folks, it's that. So, Thomasin, who have we got calling in this week?
So this week we have Christiana Jackson. Hi, Christiana.
Hey.
Hi. Tell us where you're calling from today. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Oh yeah, I'm in from New York. I'm not originally from New York. I've lived in New York for this year will make 22 years, so I am technically a New Yorker now, and I am a stand-up comedian and also a bit of a hoe. So I've got a lot of Tinder tales. That's how I got referred to you guys. There's another hoe-ass I mean, he says he's a hoe. I don't think he's got my numbers, but he's the one that referred me to you guys. He was like, "Oh, I know a hoe with some Tinder tales," and then here I am.
Okay. Excellent. Glad to have you.
Well, if I have the right guy, thanks again to David Piccolomini for hooking us up, so to speak.
Thank you, David.
Yeah.
So, Christiana, would you like to tell us your story, please?
Yes, my story is also just a cautionary tale / a tip. I am a Cancer. We're the mothers of the zodiac. I love to give a lot of tips, a lot of advice. So years ago, Tinder used to be my bread and butter, and my algo got fucked up a couple years ago, which I'm very sad about because Tinder is a good time. But there's a guy that I matched with. First of all, dating in New York is a complete fucking shit show. It's not just. It's not that we can't come up with better material in New York. It's just truly our lives. It's awful. I was in Europe this summer, conquered a few countries, and also was treated very nicely. Men brought me cheese and baguettes. And then I came back to New York and men were like, "Yo, what's up? Can I pull up?" And I'm like, "Fuck you! Men brought me cheese. I've been treated like a real woman." Anyway, so it's a disaster, but you can have a lot of fun. You can have a lot of fun. You can get your reps in, fuck a lot of different people, build a roster, and then take your talents and conquer Europe. But anyway, so this was probably like 2018, I think. I matched with this dude. We got along very well. He was from Queens. Red flag. If you're visiting New York and you want to avoid Queens dudes, they're all fucking weird. But so he was from Queens, Dominican dude. So we were vibing and he wanted to FaceTime. Now when we FaceTimed, I was looking, okay, first I should say on his dating profile, all of his photos were closed mouth, which is normal because men are trying to look tough.
It's the jaw thing, yeah.
Oh no. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Over here, I think they're just trying to look like, oh, I'm in New York. I'm hard. I'm tough. Well, they are hard, but they're like trying to look like they're cool, like they're tough, like machismo shit. So that's like normal, which also I'm just like, I'm a comic. I do want men who can laugh, Mm-hmm. But then we FaceTimed and I was like, is this motherfucker missing a front tooth? Because the room was dark, right? And then I noticed a shadow in his mouth. Now, this guy worked as a doorman. So part of me is like, there's no fucking way that there's like a toothless doorman and like opening doors for rich people. So that's why I was like, he can't be missing a tooth. He's a fucking doorman. But then we FaceTimed. So we made a date. We talked a few times, and then we made a date. And the day before was Thursday. We were supposed to meet on Friday. So we FaceTimed again. And I was starting to be like, I think this guy is missing a tooth, right? Because he sent me his IG, all same thing. No open mouth. So I asked Facebook, I was like, hey, when is a good time to ask the guy if he's missing a front tooth? And they were all like, immediately? But I'm trying to be nice. And also I don't want to get murdered. So that's my other thing. Just be nice, stay safe. So we're FaceTiming and I was like, okay, this is how I'm going to bring it up. I said, hey, is there anything you want to tell me? Anything I should know before we meet up tomorrow? And he goes, yes, actually, there is something I want to tell you. And I was like, all right, here we go. Tooth time. And he goes, I've only had sex with 4 people. And I was like, this week? Like, what are we talking about? This is 4 people. This guy's like in his 30s. So I was like, nah, bruh. And then I was like, I was like 4 people this year? Like, what are we talking about? He's like, no, only ever. He's like, I used to be a lot fatter. And so I didn't have sex with a lot of people. No, don't all that. See, that's a city. Listen, I'm not skinny. I'm heavy. I'm a hefty bitch. I'm a tall man's weight and I fuck. And he's a man. Men can be fat. That's why I was like, this is not an excuse. Men can be fat and get pussy all the time. So that's not an excuse. That's him. That's not like society.
Yeah.
You weren't trying to get pussy. That's your fault. So anyway, so I was like, oh, okay. But I thought, oh man, this guy's gonna come immediately, right? He's not ready for me. It's nice. I mean, this is the thing. There is hoe math. People think you're just out here just like slinging pussy. No, there's a lot of calculations in psychology. So I'm like analyzing. Like, he only fucked 4 people. He's gonna bust immediately. Like, this is just not. And he's probably also not gonna like fuck, right? Like, he's not one of those people. So whatever. But then I thought, fuck. Now I still don't know about his tooth. That's not what I was. I didn't think he was gonna say that. Like. So then I was like, oh, okay. And now I'm a smart bitch. So I was like, okay, recalibrate. And then I just said, hey, I noticed in all of your photos, your mouth is closed. And he goes, oh, yeah, I'm missing my front tooth. I don't know why he didn't just say that. Like, hello, sir. He went way deep. He went into the wells and confessed something to me. No, bro. I'm meeting you tomorrow. Where the fuck is your tooth? And so I was like... So then I said, oh man, what happened? And he goes, oh, I have epilepsy. I had a seizure, fell, knocked out my tooth. I'm waiting for my crown to be replaced. So yeah, that's what happened with that. So then I met up with him the next day. This motherfucker was late. He was not at the dentist. He was just late. And like, not like a little bit late. Like, he was like 45 minutes late. It got to the point where I was like, yeah, the fucking nerve, fatty. You toothless fatty motherfucker. That's crazy. That's the thing. I'm like, nobody meets a toothless man. Like, this is why men will complain like, oh, women are so difficult. No. And then a bitch gives you a chance and you fuck it up. Because the more time went by, the angrier I got. And then I was like, I just want to meet who has this audacity. I want to see who's the fucking audacity show up fat, toothless, and late. That's crazy to me. So pissed. And I ran into some comics like while I was waiting. They were like, you're still gonna meet with this guy? I'm like, I have to see who the fuck this guy thinks he is. So anyway, we meet up at this spot. It was this cool spot. Now it's not that cool, but it used to be cool. And we met up at this spot. And I'm like, what happened? He's like, oh, sorry, we're running late. While we're inside, he pretends to run into his friends. He was like, oh wow, you guys are here too? Wow, what a coincidence. They all live in Queens. We're in Manhattan on the Lower East Side. Queens people don't go to Manhattan very often. So clearly this was all orchestrated. And also why he doesn't get laid. Bro, you ain't trying to get pussy if you roll up with a whole crew of friends. Because what are you gonna do? You're not gonna be like, oh, sorry guys, I go fuck this lady. Like, no. You're clearly not trying to fuck, or you need them as some kind of like, are you scared to meet another woman who lives in your city? Like, why are these people here? So anyway, I stayed for one drink, and then I'm pretty sure I fucked someone else that night. That's how that went. But I tried. But so my tip is, if you see someone's profile and every photo they have a closed mouth, I just ask them, I'll be like, hey, do you have teeth? I just go right to it. I don't waste any time. I'm like, do you have teeth? I can't see if you have teeth. And they're like, usually what they'll say is, no one's ever asked me that before. And I'm like, well, no one's ever been tricked on a date with a toothless man before. So yeah, now I ask, do you have teeth? Why can't I see them? They'll be like, oh, I just don't like smiling. I'm like, okay, well, I'm a comic, so this might not work. But yeah, ask. If you can't see them, ask, because it might not be there, folks.
That's a great moral of that story.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Actually, I suppose the one other thing you obviously have it on your list now. Do you have teeth? Yeah. Right? If it's not immediately obvious. I suppose, first of all, I'm surprised he went with he didn't have sex with more than 4 people before both the tooth and the epilepsy, right? Because, I mean, epilepsy, apart from anything else, as a courtesy, I'd like to be told if I was going to meet someone, anyone, even socially, never mind with a view to a relationship, that they have epilepsy. Because if they fall down suddenly, I'd like to be in a position to inform the people nearby, I didn't hit them, they've got epilepsy.
I love that it's not that you want to actually take care of and
no.
how to navigate.
No.
You're like, no charges on me.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
I had nothing to do with this.
Don't
blame me.
Yeah. So, and just to go back, Christiana, so why was he late? What was his excuse?
Oh, well, I think he was late because he was meeting up with his excuse was just like, oh, the trains. And I'm like, come on, bro. Like, the trains can be shitty. Like, I don't know. Have you guys been to New York?
No.
Okay.
But we're from a city where the trains can be unpredictable. But also, they're not every half an hour. It's not like a rural place where, like, it's every hour or you miss it.
Yeah. I mean, it was, like, unacceptable. If someone's a little late, like whatever, and you just text, you're like, hey, because I'd be like, what is your ETA? Because sometimes you are like just stuck, but then you usually will send, like, here's a recording of them being like, you guys are stuck. Yeah. But I think he was just coordinating with his other dorky ass friends.
So 45 minutes, no text.
He was texting, he'd be like, oh, I'm like at this place. But then it was so much time that I'm like, you're bullshitting me.
It's diabolical.
You're lying.
I see.
I do have to say, I really liked that comment you said about how, like, he can't have a missing tooth. He's a doorman. Whereas in my head, if I was greeted by a doorman with like a shit-eating grin, I would be terrified.
True, but at least, I mean, I think you got to have all your teeth as a doorman. People have a lot of money.
So just like colloquially, right? I guess like doorman, I'm thinking people who let you into a club. So they're not smiling, they're quite intimidating. But even like a doorman, maybe as you'd know it, which is like, the doorman to like a fancy hotel letting you in.
Yeah.
If he was going to smile at you, I'd expect like a demure sort of Mona Lisa smile. I wouldn't want them to be like, the Joker, like, come on in. Like.
Yeah, but that's because you're British. This is America. We're the exclamation points of the world, So, and New Yorkers were so busy and the doorman relationship. I've worked in luxury leasing in luxury buildings in New York. The doorman tenant relationship is very important. That's like your dude. That's like part of your family sometimes. That's the first person you see when you go home. They also are the keeper of secrets. That was the best thing about, besides the paycheck, working in a luxury building, so much gossip, man. Oh man, people be cheating on, wow, it's crazy. You're like, okay. Because the thing is, for me, people always say to me, like, people act like I'm single because I'm a hoe. And I'm like, no, I am a hoe because I see where I live. I live in a city of fuckboys. These are not men that you get into relationships with. I'm a smart bitch. That's why I'm single. I'm not trying to wife up one of these dudes or like, I'm not trying to boo up with one of these guys. So working in a luxury building and watching women who were nothing like me get just as cheated on, I was like, exactly. Yeah. It's not me.
But if it can happen to Shakira, it can happen to any of us. Like,
oh my God, yeah. Although I feel like Shakira, I mean, is that a way? I know the hips don't lie, but that's no way to fuck a man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if she has a chiller version of that, but can you imagine? She comes and she's, like, all right, girl.
Yeah.
All right. She'll be like, all right, that's enough of that, Shakira.
But you know what though? I've met her in real life and she is like, she's so beautiful. It made me angry. Like, she's just like...
But hot people are crazy.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, dude. People that hot, that's what the best thing about reality TV. You watch hot people completely melt down and you're like, okay, well, see, there you go.
I feel
there
better.
You go.
I think it's fair to say that particularly beautiful people can get away with shit that the rest of us can't. That's
First of all, I like that you say the rest of us. You threw all of us in there.
I know, like, ow, my feelings.
You're like, I've looked at all of us and we're all in the same category. Thanks a lot. You guys, you only see me from the neck up. I have massive tits. I get away with a lot of shit. Yeah, you don't build an empire on B cups. Nah, I do get away with a lot of shit. Man, I have been mildly toxic where I've like flipped out, been PMSing, didn't realize, and then like we'll cut someone off, block them, and then text them back, and they're like, "Oh, hey, what's up? When do you want to hang out?" And I'm like, "Mm-hmm." I have huge tits and amazing nudes.
See,
They're
listeners,
like,
what you didn't hear when Christiana said, "Oh yeah, hot people are crazy," is she also leaned into the mic, pointed to herself, and went, "Me."
I'm not hot. I'm a balance of huge tits, but I developed a personality before I knew huge tits were cool.
Yeah, like so you got to do the sense of humor first. I think otherwise, like hot people aren't as funny, you know.
No, they're the worst audience.
Yeah.
When you open a door and it's a room full of hot people, you're like, oh, they don't want to laugh. They can't. They've got Botox. Like, terrible.
So,
oh my God.
I just want to go back to the date. I want to learn a bit more about his little cronies.
Yeah.
What happened next? Like, did you leave the date very quickly after? Were you like hanging out with him and his pals for a bit? Did you confront him?
Oh yeah. Well, I once he finally showed up, I was very much like, what the fuck? I'm like, you have me waiting for that's the thing. New Yorkers, people think that we're rude, but we're just also very direct. And so it's like, you kind of know, living in New York, someone might curse you out at any point. Like, that's just what it is. So I was like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how could you leave me waiting this long? This is crazy. This is so much time. And he's just kind of like, oh, sorry. I did stay because I was like, I'm here. I might as well get a drink and talk to these losers because I've been here waiting. And the DJ was pretty good, but he couldn't dance. And then I don't know. I think that's the thing. I think his friends also know that he's a loser, and then they were probably kind of like, oh, he convinced some woman to meet him. But they were like a bunch of couples, and then he was the only person by himself.
That's
and
even weirder.
He brought a bunch of couples.
Yeah.
I mean, it's strange enough if he brought 2 or 3 of his male mates. That would be strange.
Oh, that would have been great. Yeah, I'd be like, I'll take this one. Looks like he fucks. Let's go.
Yeah, but like the thing is, how does someone persuade 2 or 3 couples to turn up? Because I would have thought that the ladies in that equation would go, I'm not going to watch and spectate at a date.
Yeah,
I mean, the guys would, but the women I would have thought.
The thing is, there's not much to do in Queens. So I think they were just like, oh yeah, let's go get out of Queens and we'll all go.
And they really did the whole like, oh, I just found you kind of like, whoa.
Yes, it was so stupid. That's where I wanted to go like, do you guys think I'm a fucking idiot? Like, I'm not an actor, but this is bad acting, Like, I don't believe that you just have, oh, hey. It would have been better if he said, hey, my friends wanted to come too, and they're taking long. Just be honest about it.
And was he aware of how badly it was going?
I don't think there was any doubt. I think he was told how badly it was going.
I think, well, the thing that's amazing is, so there's a whole thing here where they say, oh, women always lie, we're not honest. So I keep it 100. I keep it very honest and direct. It's a matter if somebody wants to listen to what you're saying. So I've had men in my house totally fuck up the bag, as we like to say, and then will text me the next day and be like, when are we hanging out? And I'm like, no, that was your audition, bro. You fucked it up. That's it.
Yeah.
That was your chance. You were in my house and you knew that we were going to fuck. I have nude photos in my house of me. So, I mean, not a lot of heavy lifting. Not a lot of heavy lifting for the men. And they'll still fuck up. Yeah. I'm like, all right, bro, I gotta jerk off now, or I gotta text someone else. Like, this was your time.
They've literally got the menu in front of them. Like, nah.
Yeah, but I mean, what the fuck? Let's go.
Yeah.
You mentioned that your Tinder algorithm got fucked up. What's the story there?
There was a guy that we hung out. It was one of those situations where you're like, okay, if I'm not like very firm with this person, this shit could go left and be creepy. So it was like one of those like, let's wrap this up and then pretend this never happened. But I think he reported my account because then the next day, because nothing, I mean, I'd been on Tinder at that point for years. Nothing had ever happened. And then all of a sudden it said I was selling sex, that I was like soliciting men for sex. And I'm like, I'm sucking this dick for free. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, no one has ever paid me. Sometimes I don't go out on dates either because I don't like waste. If I don't want to, sometimes I think dates are just like public humiliation. And so if I'm not sure if I want to be seen with this person in public, I just be like, nah, just come over to my house. It's America. We have security cameras. If anything happens, they'll find you and make a doc on Netflix. You know what I mean? So sometimes I just take that risk. But yeah, so I think that he like probably reported my account because I think he probably thought I was going to report him for being like a little creepy, which I was just like, I just want to pretend this didn't happen. Nothing criminal happened, but it was one of those situations where I'm like, oh, I better be very, very clear with this man as to what I do and do not want to do. And I think he probably like reported my account. And I'm like, hey, man, you didn't fuck me good. At least let me get some more dick. Like, don't. That's not fair.
So petty. Petty.
Yeah, man, let a bitch have a good time. I got to make up for last night.
Apart from the baguettes and cheese situation, what other differences did you identify between dating European men and American men?
So last summer I went to I had Dick waiting for me in Paris. So that was great. It was a guy named Pierre, of course, South French. So Pierre and I hooked up in New York in 2023. And then we stayed in touch. And then I was like, oh, I'm coming to Paris. This was my 4th trip to Paris. And so he was my, I call it welcome back Dick. If I'm going a place that I've been before, that's like the best way. You're like, I'm back. Oh, I mean, also when you travel and you have Dick waiting for you in that country, you're like, let's fucking go, bro. Like, this is my city. I fucked a guy in his office on a Monday afternoon in Paris. That shit was so cool.
Oh my God. They didn't show that in Emily in Paris.
No, Emily's not getting the dick I am. Get the fuck out of here. Nah, Emily don't know.
So are you just meeting these people on Tinder and being like, how about it? Like, how did you get from there to the office?
I took an Uber. Anyway, no, so the thing is, I like having a good time, but also because I value pleasure, I am also very selective with who I have sex with. So sometimes it's a short vetting process, but what I do is I pre-swipe before I travel somewhere so I can feel out the guys. Once again, safety is my number one concern. So I like having time being able to figure out, like, do I trust this person? Do I vibe with this person? Is this person also pleasure-minded? Is this person just a selfish lover? Then, of course, being Black, I'm like, is this guy just looking, is he have a fetish? Is he just looking for an experience? Or is he like really vibing with me, Christiana, or just like, oh, I'm never gonna, like, this is my opportunity to fuck a Black woman, Which, and it's not, depending on where you are in Europe, but they have more chances still. But it is a thing, like wherever I travel, it is always after I like sort out who. Also, then there's so many men that are full of shit. So usually I like to let a few men know when I arrive, and then we'll see, just in terms of statistics, how many of those dudes are actually trying to meet up and fuck. Some also, like, I'm in my 40s. Men get tired. People are busy. Some men on apps are cheating. They've been caught. You know
Some
what
of
I mean?
their knees hurt.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of statistics in this. But basically, like, if I vibe, this is the same thing here in New York too. Like, I have to feel like I vibe with the guys. And the one thing I will say, like, that gave me perspective, I feel like is different for Europeans, is you guys have work-life balance. So men have time to actually, like, take you on a cute date. And I'm not someone who, like, cares about, like, right now there's a big thing in the States, like women thinking like men have to spend a certain amount or take me on a certain kind of date. Nah, I'm purely like personality, vibes, and attraction. So a cute date could just be like, oh yeah, let's go to like a small little hang. Also, I'm a comic, so we usually hanging out in like shitty bars. So if it's a cute bar, we have a couple drinks, cool. Or like
I was going to say, I actually, that brings me on to a question I really wanted to ask you is, so you're a stand-up comic.
Yeah.
Some comics feel very differently about this, but are you okay at bringing a date to a gig you're doing? Or is that like, no, okay. You don't want to like show off, like, look what I can do.
No, I show off, just not on stage.
Yeah. They wouldn't let me back on stage with the things I was going to do.
Yeah. No. Well, I'll roll those legs back behind your head, sir, and then I'll show off.
Sorry, I'll tell a joke in a second. No. Look at this.
Yeah, I don't like, because for me, I'm very much like separation of like work. I like having everything separate. So for me, comedy is my job. So I don't want to bring some man to my job like that. That's why I explained to him, like, if I just showed up at your job, you'd be like, this is weird. My comedy is also very personal. So it's like, they don't need to know all about me like that. And then also, I mean, men do not like, they do not like strong female comics. So I'm like, if you like I have a lover here in New York that we've been on again, off again for years. He's never seen me do stand up. I remember he asked me like the first year we were on that and before we went off. And he was like, what would you do if you saw me in the audience? I was like, oh, if I talked to you, you wouldn't want to fuck me. You'd be so intimidated.
Yeah.
Like you would not like, you would be like, I mean, like, men don't know how to handle a woman who can like dominate a room full of people. And so many men want to do comedy. So for them, they're like, oh, you're doing the thing that I always wanted to do. So I hate that shit. But I also don't want to get two things. One, comics are fucking idiots. And I don't want them to be like, is this so-and-so that you posted about? I'm like, that's a whole different dude. Sometimes they're blowing up my spot. But also, I don't want them to roast the guy I'm trying to fuck either. So it's like, nah, everything could just stay separate.
Yeah. You see the classic example at comedy clubs where a couple on a first date are sitting somewhere near the front, which I don't understand, but nevertheless, and then the comic will involve with and possibly ruin any possibility of a relationship. But I can imagine what comedians.
I love doing that.
I would imagine what comedians would do if they thought that there was a potential partner of one of the people who they were on stage with. They would just. One act after another would go after them, and it would be a disaster. Anyway,
it's happened to me at 3 shows that men were in the audience that I had hooked up with before. These were all just pure coincidences.
Fair enough.
I love the idea of you doing a stand-up show, looking out into the audience, being like, "Wait a minute, I fucked all of you."
Oh God. Not that many single men go to comedy shows, so that's
true. That's true.
One of them was there on a date though, and I was like, "Oh, I think he cheated on her with me."
Oh,
but I didn't bring it up. And then she really liked me, and she wanted to hang out. She was like, "Have drinks with us," and I was like, "I gotta go to another show." And she's like, "No, have a drink." And I'm just like, "Yo." And then she went to the bathroom. I said to him, "I was like, did you fucking know this was gonna?" He's like, "I didn't know." I was like, what the fuck? What are you doing here? It was just a coincidence, but he should have sent me money for not blowing up his spot. Because I could have been like, girl, how long have you been fucking this dude? Because I fucked him a month ago.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was relatively recent. Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't like, oh, it was years ago. I was like, oh, I think he cheated. But yeah, European dudes can be a good time. I think that just like, I don't know, Americans, I don't really fuck that many Americans here in America. Most of the guys that I hook up with are like a lot of Latinos, because I speak Spanish and I've traveled a lot in Latin America. And then, Europeans, a couple of Asians, but you know, they don't really like black women, so it's not really that much of a, but I've fucked people from every continent except for Australia. And I'm fine with that. That's okay.
Well, I love Australia catching strays. So
well, I've just never heard anyone say like, "Oh man, I got my back blown out in the outback." You know what I mean? So if they don't have a reputation, I'm like, all right, I don't think I'm missing out on anything.
Probably not. I have no idea.
Maybe one day. I don't know if anyone on here's fucked an Australian before, but
well. I'll leave it to how about our listeners from Australia? Please do write in to tellingtindertales@gmail.com and please do inform us of what is the reputation of Australia. And with that, I think we should start to wrap up.
Yes, probably. Okay.
We're going to leave it with you, Australia.
For our listeners from Australia, we'd love your input on this topic, and please do get in contact on tellingtindertales@gmail.com. I think you can headline the email something like, yes or no for Australians, and in particular the men. So yeah, do let us know. We'd love to hear. If we get some interesting ones, we might even read them out. Okay, so yeah, that would be good. Okay, I think we're heading for the end, and I think it's time. Have you anything you want to plug before we head on?
Yeah, I have a few things going on. So I am a stand-up comedian, obviously, but like I'm also a visual artist. So I have a solo show. If anyone is listening in the New York area, I have a solo show in Jersey City that'll be up till May 9th. It is called Erotic Art for Ungrateful Men, and it is a collection of my nudes that I took of myself, because no one else takes my nudes. And then there are text excerpts of conversations that I had with men. So the point of the exhibition is not for people to be like, nah, men suck. The point is to have conversations around, I don't think there should be a stigma about nudes. They've been part of the art world forever, and also just how we have always been. So part of it is that. Part of it is I think there needs to be conversations around etiquette and consent and privacy around nudes. And then part of it is also so people could be like, damn man, she got some great tits. I always say, with the show, come for the art, stay for the tits. Come for the tits, stay for the art. Either way, whatever your vibe is, it is a really good show. And also not all of the conversations are negative. I call them my patrons of the arts, the men that I regularly send nudes to. So they're also like very adoring, sweet text messages as well. But just to kind of get an insight on what I am experiencing in my world, but also I think how we should move forward as these things are part of normal life.
Thank you so much. I have no doubt that's going to be an excellent show to go and see. You've been an excellent guest today. Thank you very much for coming in. Thank you very much to our listeners for listening. Help us keep growing. Give us a little like, a follow, a share, whatever you need to do on the platform to keep us in your roster. And most importantly, give us a review. If you give us 5 stars, I will send you some cheese and baguettes. And if you see any 1-star reviews, don't worry about that. They were just written by people who are fat, toothless, and late. And another thing, how about you tell someone about this podcast the old-fashioned way? Tell someone that you know, face to face. Next time you're walking through a hotel and the doorman gives you the cheeky little Mona Lisa smile or a big shit-eating grin, you say, you know what, that reminds me of a great podcast I've been listening to, Telling Tinder Tales. And of course, we'd love to hear your story. Get in touch at tellingtindertales@gmail.com.
Yes, indeed. We do like to hear stories, and we'd love you to join us at one of our live shows. We have one coming up in Ireland, in Dundalk at the Town on the 25th of April, which is a Saturday. And we're also at the Ram Comedy Festival at the end of May. So come on down and say hello to us and tell your story.
And follow us on socials at Telling Tinder Tales for updates and details.
I think that's really all that's left to say. Well, let's just say goodbye, folks. Bye-bye, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Telling Tinder Tales is hosted and produced by me, Chris O'Neill, and Thomasin Lockwood. Produced and edited by Lucy Regan, with music by Kinkas Moreira. It's a Jesters Comedy Dublin production and is no way affiliated with or endorsed by Tinder. If you have a story to tell, please get in touch. Details are in the show notes. And if you like us, instead of swiping right, follow us on Instagram and or TikTok at Telling Tinder Tales.